Right everyone, Reflect here. Right, thought I'd do a video on slip joints and modding larger slip joints down to legal carry ones. I was thinking about it recently, and I was thinking if you're going to have a slip joint, you know, if it's too big, you may as well not use it. You'd be better off using a lock knife. You know, in a situation where you need an excuse to carry a knife, you may as well have a lock knife rather than a slip joint, a big slip joint. Personally, that's my opinion. So if you have got the large slip joints, you may as well mod them into a legal carry knife. And there's some benefits of doing this, I think. And we'll discuss this afterwards. You can tell me what you think. But I'll show you two modded slip joints. Now these are both ones that were non-legal carry originally because the blades were too long. The blades were over 3 inches. So both of these knives, I've ground the blades down so they are about 1 millimetre under 3 inches. So this is the first one. This is a San Renmu. Can't remember the exact model, but I'll show you. So it's just a slip joint. Well, this is a sort of ball bearing slip joint kind of one. And then you've got one of these old, I don't know what they're called, I'll try and put a name. They cost about a tenner. But again, the blade was originally too long. So I'll tell you the main benefits of these, I think. Right, I'll go over how I think they're very easy to do. If you can buy a 30-40 quid cheap belt grinder, you can make these. All you need to do is tape the blade up, mark it, put a zip tie around there so the blade can't shut on your fingers when you're doing it, and then you just grind the blade down to just under 1 millimetre under 3 inches. You know, I do that just to make sure they're definitely under. And this one I've even added a thumb stud. See the thumb stud there? So one benefit is you can have a blade that's just under the legal limit, because the problem with a lot of slip joints you can buy, that's probably about 2 inches long. The Swiss Army pen knives are quite a bit shorter, I think, yeah, than it could be. And that you'll find that with most of them, most slip joints you can buy, unless you buy some of the more expensive ones, are all about ½ an inch shorter than they could be, or 1/4 of an inch. I'll show you the rest of these knives as we go along. So you can do the knife, you can do the blade to the exact length you want, to the same, and the shape that you want. You can put a lot more of a non-threatening shape on it. If you put a sheep's foot sort of blade on, that looks a lot less threatening than a really pointy blade. So there's that. One of the biggest benefits I find of doing your own slip joints out of big slip joints is the size of the handle. Because again, the problem with a lot of slip joints that you can buy, unless you go for some of the more expensive ones where they've been more thought out, look at the size of the blade, the handle. Again, see, this is a really good little slip joint, this one. Very safe to use, but very small handle, sadly. You can see it there. Swiss Army pen knife, handle is just about big enough. You know, there's no complaints with these knives, they're all really good, but they don't come with big handles. So, if you take a big slip joint knife and mod it, big size of that handle, you've got a really decent thing to hold on to there. You know, someone with big hands could use that. Same with this one. I'll show you the handle. Now this knife, I would say this has a decent size handle. Still not quite big enough though. So see, but if you compare this handle to this one, that's got to be ½ an inch shorter still. So modding them yourself, you can get a decent size handle on them. And yeah, that's just some of the benefits. So as I mentioned, this is a San Renmu one. what I really just did to this, I just ground the blade down to just under 3 inches to make it a really decent sized legal carry knife. This one, as I mentioned, is a cheap, and that one's about a tenner as well, so you can get a really good slip joint for under a tenner. That's a bit harder to find, that knife, now though. This one I've seen online for tenner, and I've even drilled it and put some thumb studs in, as I mentioned. And that's just a nice non-threatening sheep's foot style blade with a very big handle. And I put that groove in because originally I wasn't going to do the thumb stud, but where the slip joint in this is very strong, you need the thumb studs really, because where I've ground it, it's got rid of the nail nick. Yeah, that's just some of the benefits, I think. One of the other benefits is, in my opinion, there's no point having a slip joint that is too big to legal carry, because if in that case you may as well just carry a lock knife. You know, I think it's much better if you're going to have a slip joint, have it legal carry, then you'll get a lot of use out of it. If you can't carry it, you're going to need to use it indoors, you're going to tend to use a lock knife, aren't you, or something else, or a fixed blade. Yeah, get hold of some cheap slip joints that are too big, grind the blades down, you'll get a blade just under the legal limit, any shape you like. You can add thumb studs and you get a big handle. Now that's my opinion on it. That's what I would do if I've got big slip joints. They're all getting ground down to legal carry. Now I'm looking out for some deliberately to do as well. Yeah, I think it's worth it. You let me know. What do you think? Yeah, you know, all of these are really good knives, but sometimes I would like something with a bigger handle. Some pen knife, yeah, it's a good knife. But small blade as well. That's got a small blade, and then you get little ones like this. Again, a good knife, but very small. You can only get 3 fingers on it, and a little blade. If I'm going to carry a slip joint, I want it to be just under the legal limit. A big handle, preferably. Well, not necessarily, but you know, if I could pick and make one, that's what I'll do. So, yeah, you know, what do you think? Very easy to do though, that is the one thing I would say. Thumb studs is a bit more difficult, it's very hard to drill hardened steel, but you can do it. You know, I did it there. And to grind down the blades, I use a, you know, I think it was a 40 quid belt grinder from Screwfix, something like that. So, yeah, you let me know what you think, if you think that's worth doing. I do personally, and you'll see a lot more coming soon, because I quite like making these, because you do get some unusual legal carry knives with some very decent usable size handles. Especially if you've got big hands, this may be the way to go. Yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget to leave a comment below saying, don't forget to like the video as well, because that always helps, that gets it shared out a bit more. So, alright, see you later. Before you leave, if you ever wanted to support this channel, you can now via Patreon or by shopping at Amazon.com and Gearbest. There's more info below if you need that. Remember, if you want to get full notifications for this channel, click the bell, and I'll see you later. Cheers.